Hello everybody. In this video we will try to discuss Dhanishta nakshatra energy. Dhanishta nakshatra ranges from 23 degree 20 minutes of Capricorn to 6 degree 40 minutes of Aquarius. Dhanishta is a Martian nakshatra. Means the planetary lord of this nakshatra is Mars. Any Martian nakshatra acts as a bridge between an earthy sign and airy sign. If you observe other Martian nakshatras like Mrigashira, Chitra, they also act as bridge between earthy signs and airy signs. If you observe Mrigashira, 1-2 padas are in the Taurus sign. Taurus is an earthy sign, and Mrigashira 3-4 padas are in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is an airy sign. And then another Martian nakshatra is Chitra, and Chitra 1-2 padas are in the earthy sign Virgo, and 3-4 padas are in the airy sign Libra. And then another Martian nakshatra, that is a third Martian nakshatra, is Dhanishta. So Dhanishta 1-2 padas are in the earthy sign Capricorn, and 3-4 padas are in the airy sign Aquarius. Generally, people confuse about Aquarius if it is an airy sign or watery sign, because the word aqua indicates a kind of watery energy, but Aquarius is an airy sign. You can relate the word aqua with the energy of Shatabhisha, because Shatabhisha has the herbal capacity or the healing capacity, where lot of herbs generally are in the form of liquid and they are collected in a pot. So that kind of analogy you can take in the case of Aquarius, but Aquarius is an airy sign. And Dhanishta has most of the Martian energy because it is the third Martian nakshatra. If you see Mrigashira is a seed of Martian energy, then Chitra acts as a flowery energy of Martian, then the next one is the fruit or the pinnacle or the peaks or the zenith of Martian energy, that is Dhanishta. So Dhanishta has more Martian energy, and every nakshatra consists of some number of stars, and Dhanishta consists of 4 stars. And if you observe the sky in the area of Delphini, you can find these stars. And now you can understand the brightness of these 4 stars. See, even the star having more brightness in the Dhanishta nakshatra has a visible magnitude of 3.63 only. So when visual magnitude is higher, the brightness is lesser. Generally, the visual magnitude 3.63 considered as a very high number. You can take some other nakshatras having visual magnitudes ranging from 1 to 2 only, or 1 to maximum 3 only. They are a bit brighter, because if visual magnitude is higher, the brightness is lower, and visual magnitude is lower, then brightness is higher. So, based on this, even the brightest star in the 4 stars of Dhanishta nakshatra has a visual magnitude of only 3.63, very high number. Now, if you take the meaning of Dhanishta, Dhanishta means the wealthiest, the most beneficent, and you can also say it's the luckiest to an extent, because luckiest in terms of material achievements, and it is not a very luckiest star for marriage. That's what I want to tell you. Dhanishta, basically, Dhanishta natives, they can get luck at some point of time in their life, right? And all the Dhanishta padas, so Dhanishta has 4 padas, every nakshatra has 4 padas, and I want to tell you, all Dhanishta padas are very, to an extent, luckiest. And I told you that Dhanishta is not so good for marriage, and it is not applicable for all padas. We will see which padas are more vulnerable for marital disharmony. We will see that in some time. So, its meaning, the wealthiest, the most beneficent, you can understand the meaning of this nakshatra, right? They are going to achieve some material comforts for sure in their life, and it has an alternative name which is Shravishta, and Shravishta is a kind of the most heard of, most famous. Even you can find Dhanishta people in the fields of music, in the fields of dance, and even you can find them in the fields of fashion industry or movie industry. They are beautiful to an extent, they have some kind of beauty associated with them, and that's why they can become famous. They have more probability to become famous. And in ancient times, it was also called as Shravishta because it comes just after its previous nakshatra Shravana. It is, most of the times it is understood that Shravana is about hearing, but Dhanishta is about listening. Dhanishta has grace associated with it. Dhanishta is rhythm. Dhanishta is manifestation of what you are hearing, So, you can clearly understand it's one of the luckiest things that you're manifesting something, right? It has the capacity to manifest, because Shravana is about just hearing, but it is about listening, you can say. It has a very, very good quality, that is the rhythm, the grace. You can understand if someone is dancing, if you can see clearly, if the dance has grace, it becomes more beautiful, it is very valuable. And generally, Shravana, Dhanishta, right? They are a kind of pair. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it's a marriage compatibility, but it seems to be a kind of good pair, right? Shravana and Dhanishta. Dhanishta comes just after Dhanishta comes just after Shravana. So one important thing is the symbolism of Dhanishta. So Dhanishta's symbolism is musical drum. What is this musical drum? Just by giving a symbolism of musical drum, what you can feel the is that musical drum is tabla, or it's mridanga, or what is this, or it is a damaru. It's a damaru actually, the musical drum that is indicated in Dhanishta is a damaru. So damaru is the Shiva's favorite drum, and Dhanishta acts as a bridge between Capricorn and Aquarius. Capricorn has a lot of Vishnu's energy, whereas Aquarius has most of the Shiva's energy. So generally Dhanishta acts as a bridge between the Vishnu's energy and Shiva's energy. And what is this damaru we're talking here? So damaru basically it conveys two main attributes, that's a music and hollowness. Hollowness is very much important. What is this hollowness? What if you have some hollowness in some space? If it is hollow, it is ready to receive something. So hollowness here relates to receptivity to outer influences. Receptivity to outer influences. In its highest expression, this particular receptivity allows one to be an instrument of the universal mind without letting the ego interfere with the process. This particular thing is very much important. When you are trying to listen something stops you to listen or understand, that is basically your ego. It's not about just understanding, it's about manifesting. You're listening something, right? And you're listening something and you don't want to manifest it. Somebody told you something, but you don't want to manifest it because your ego comes in the middle. That situation I'm telling you, right? So whenever your ego comes into the picture, you don't want to manifest what you are actually listening. You may not want to manifest it, right? So if you let your ego go out, if you let your ego go out of your mind, out of your heart, then yes, then you not only listen to what others are saying, you also try to manifest it, right? So generally ego stops you most of the times to manifest something you listen from others, even though it's good, right? You may not manifest because your ego doesn't allow. Once you let the ego go out, then yes, you can manifest. So this particular hollowness is it has the most receptivity, and that receptivity is very much important because that receptivity can accept the things letting the ego, without letting the ego interfere with your listening process. So that kind of something like Dhanishta people are very much into listening to someone. They can easily put the things in their mind when someone is saying something, unless and until some other planet in the whole horoscope is not allowing to do it, or exaggerating the ego or giving more ego. Unless and until that, generally Dhanishta people can hear, listen, and then try to manifest if it is something good. That's why the grace, when some person is dancing, what the person is actually doing, he is listening to someone, he is trying to replicate it, or he is trying to create something. When he is creating, he is listening to the universal mind, the nature. Then he is trying to create it with some grace. When someone is doing with something with grace, and he is completely into it, right? That's why the grace is coming. If the manifestation is happening without much liking, then the grace aspect is not present. But Dhanishta people have that grace. If they are doing something, they do it with a lot of passion and willingness. That's where the grace is coming into the picture, because they have that hollowness in them, the receptivity, the capacity to receive something, capacity to listen and manifest something. They are able to do it. So this nakshatra follows Shravana, as we discussed. So it relates to the process where what we have listened to is synthesized, manifested. So because of this one, these nakshatra people are good at music and also dancing, fine arts generally. In its lowest expression, so this is the highest expression, something like they can be good at music and dancing. They are able to listen and manifest the things very gracefully. Then what about if this Dhanishta nakshatra is afflicted? What is its lowest form of expression? So the lowest form of expression of this nakshatra is susceptible to receiving lower level influences. So because of that, its outer works are not as elevating as they are in its highest expression. So if Dhanishta is afflicted, or Dhanishta energy in your horoscope has some bad planet in it, then just imagine the person may not manifest what he is actually listening, right? The grace is also going to miss the person's activity. So generally Damaru is a rhythmical instrument which can be associated with time, and time is the rhythm of the universe. So this is why this nakshatra has, it's said that it has a very good timing associated with it, a lot of timing, right? It's the rhythm of the universe, you can say, right? Dhanishta is rhythm, and it is associated with time, the timing. So when something happens at a perfect time, it looks very, very graceful, right? So you can just understand it. You can apply this into sports as well, because Dhanishta energy is very good at sports as well, right? In sports also, if someone is, let's say take cricket, when someone is hitting the ball at the correct timing and the ball easily goes to boundary, right? Then just see it, how gracefully the batsman might have hit it, right? And so there is a kind of hollowness, right, symbolism, because the hollowness is a very divine hollowness, something like the person can listen to it and manifest it with some immaculate timing. Just the timing is excellent, it's a perfect, right, thing. So we can take another symbolism as flute. Even flute produces music with some timing, right? The perfect timing. If someone is using the flute, playing the music with it at perfect timing, it gives a very great music. Great music is manifested. It is also having that hollowness, right? So and then it can produce a great music. And this kind of music can be celestial music as well, the universe, wherever the universe has the perfect hollowness and the perfect timing, uh, thereby manifesting something or giving a kind of celestial music through the hollowness of the universal space, then that is also a symbolism of Dhanishta energy. So Dhanishta is presided over by a group of 8 gods, and they are called as Ashtavasus. So Vasu, basically Vasu means superb. It's the meaning is superb, excellent, wealthy. So Vasu is an auspicious sound, and in the Vedic literature you can always find 8 Vasus. They are called as Ashtavasus. Those Ashtavasus are the deities of Dhanishta nakshatra. And if you see who are those Ashtavasus, they are basically, the first one is Apa. Apa means the water, and then the second one is Dhruva. Dhruva means something fixed, and then the third one is Dhara. Dhara means a stream of flowing, and the fourth one is Anila. Anila means the wind, and then the fifth one is Soma. Soma is, of course, it's related to moon god. At the same time, the drink that the people in Devaloka have is actually called as Somarasa. So it's a heavenly tonic. It's a kind of nectar, right? A Somarasa. Then, or Soma, you can say Soma is moon god. And then the sixth one is Anala. Anala means fire. See, Anila is wind and Anala is fire. And then Pratyusha is the seventh one. Pratyusha is the dawn, and that is DAW and dawn, that dawn. Okay. And then the Prabhasa is the eighth. Ashtavasu is the eighth one in the Ashtavasus. It is Prabhasa. Prabhasa means the light. Pratyusha and Prabhasa, these are actually related to the sun, right? And then you see what is Apa basically, the 8 things if you see. So the 8 are Apa, Dhruva, Dhara, Anila, Soma, Anala, Pratyusha and Prabhasa. Apa means the water. So the water energy here you can associate with the energy of Purvashadha nakshatra. Basically, Dhanishta has energy which is an amalgamation or compendium of some other stars. It's a combination of so many stars, you can say, so many other nakshatras, I want to say. Okay. So if you take the first one as Apa, that is the Purvashadha energy is very much present in this particular Ashtavasu, right, in this particular Vasu, you can say. And Dhruva is the fixed. Dhruva is nothing but a fixed energy. And Dhara is a kind of, it's a stream of water, and it has aquarius energy basically. We will talk about the Ashtavasus in our next video. I am just giving a brief view of them in this particular video. And Anila basically it's a wind, nature. So Dhanishta energy has all these 8 energies associated with it. Just imagine the power of Dhanishta, right? So, Anila, you can understand it's a wind. Whenever you talk about wind, you talk about Swati nakshatra. Swati nakshatra, and also Hanuman, you talk about the god Hanuman, right? And that Swati energy is also in this Dhanishta, that windy energy, basically that wind quality. And then Soma energy, when you talk about Soma, you talk about Mrigashira. So Mrigashira energy is also present here. And then Anala is a fire. When you talk about fire, you talk about Kritika. Kritika energy is also present in Dhanishta. Then Pratyusha and Prabhasa. So it's about the solar. Pratyusha is basically solar goddess, and so you can clearly see Prabhasa and Pratyusha are related to the sun's energy. So Prabhasa is, of course, is another solar deity associated with morning time. So basically, the deities are representing the qualities can be associated with Dhanishta energy. So Dhanishta can have the amalgamation of these 8 Vasus. We talk more about these Ashtavasus in our next video. Thanks for watching this video.